Welcome to Untethered Fridays. So, Friday, 11 o'clock, welcome. This is the one live that I plan. I say plan in the very loose terms, the very loose definition of the term. And that is because really the only thing that I plan is the time and the day. And then sometime in the few minutes before I go live, I decide what I'm going to say. Anyway, today I want to talk about trusting your gut feelings, and learning to trust them. One of the things that doesn't resonate with me as far as Michael Singer is concerned, is he says, like, sometimes you meet a person and you say, I don't really like them, I don't know why, but I don't like them, and then that's a silly reason not to like them. I think that's like the best reason not to like them. Number one, for me at least, I like everybody when I meet them, and if I have a feeling about people where I'm like, it's usually accurate. And the times that I have gone, well, I'm just being unfair, I should just, they haven't given me reason to think badly of them. I'm being prejudicial, and, it's silly to have this feeling that, comes from nowhere. I don't know where that's coming from. So, and I ignore it. And every single time I do that, I get into deep doo-doo. However, when I do listen to it, good things happen. And I will give you some examples. For example, when I was hiring, thank God I did this, thank God. When I was hiring my writers for my company, I vetted them. There was a kind of a process that I put them through in order to, like, a multi-step hiring process. And I chose them not just for their talent, but also for the fact that they were very proactive, very concerned about getting things to me in on time, very concerned about my opinion and wanting to do it right, and very concerned about the idea of the company, which has been really cool. And I 100% made the right decision with all three of them. They're great. We have a great company culture, and we're very forgiving of each other and very encouraging and supportive, and we have a fun time together, talking and laughing and making the company. So that's something that worked out. The times that I haven't trusted my gut, the two times that come into mind, one was I had a weird feeling about this one woman, and I didn't know why, but it just bothered me. She just bothered me. And I spent a lot of time with her one day, the first day that I met her, and I just was like, something up. And then several months later, when she and I were in a different situation, she not just, I want to say came on to me, but not exactly. It was like closer to molesting, but not quite there, like touching in an inappropriate way, trying to get things. It was really uncomfortable, and I felt that she had more power than I did in this particular situation, and I didn't know how to respond. So I kind of froze, which is my thing. I don't know how to respond. I freeze. I get confused. I don't know what to do. And that is an issue, and that is something that has happened, now that I'm thinking about it, several times with people that I have a gut reaction to and then don't pay attention to the gut reaction. So I guess I pay attention to the gut reaction when it's a good gut reaction and not when it's a bad one. So I want to talk, that's a matter of trusting oneself, right? That's why, whew, that just resonated right here, just went, that's why I haven't trusted my gut instinct when it comes to negativity because negative when it comes to like not trusting people because I don't trust myself. However, I am learning to trust myself. So this is not actually about gut feelings and listening to them. It's about trusting yourself. That's an interesting turn of events now, isn't it? I wish Robin would come on so we could talk a bit more, because she would be very interesting to talk to about this. Yeah, so in the other case, I offered to do something, like the biggest favor I've ever done for someone in my life, for someone who my original feeling was, like, I don't know. And then I got completely taken advantage of, and my life has kind of been, my entire life has been incredibly affected by it. And however, in that situation, I was talking about it yesterday, I am learning I'm learning, I've had to stand up for myself, and that has made me more confident in not just my ability to do so, but also my opinion of myself. I've had to defend myself. Hey, Mark! I had to defend myself to this person. I didn't have to, right? I just felt like I wanted to, given the situation, given the conversation as it went, and the situation as it's going. So I had to, I vocalized things about myself that were positive, and as they came out of my mouth, I was like, hey, that is right. That is true, because I've been having difficulty prior to this for a few weeks, because sort of wrapping my head around the idea that people like me and that I'm good and all that stuff, and because recently people have been telling me a lot about how great they think I am. And I have not reacted well. It's been very confusing. I've been very suspicious about it, and it's just, I've had a lot of hard time believing it. But as I was going through this particular conversation a couple of weeks ago, and telling this person who it is they're taking advantage of, I was like, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm pretty cool. I like myself. So that was pretty good. And the situation is shaping up such that I am learning to set boundaries. And the lesson is to set them before it's too late. And also to trust myself, because again, I was knocked off guard. And that was where everything kind of shifted. I was taken by surprise. I kind of went off balance. I got confused because I assume that the other person is right whenever I'm in a situation like that. I just assume that I'm wrong and the person is right. So I get confused and I'm like, wait a second, what? And before my mind has a chance to clear, I'll agree to things that I shouldn't agree to. Especially when someone's going to take advantage of you and is steamrolling you because they see generosity and kindness as a weakness. But that's neither here nor there right now, right? So that is something that I am in the process of doing, learning to set boundaries, like boom, right? I'm gonna be strong, be assertive, and but also equanimous and equanimous. Equanimous? I don't know how you pronounce that word. But and respectful, and address the light within the other person, my light to their light, and not not give in to that lower self, right? The lower self that wants to just, right? That just wants to get in there and put in anything I can to drive the point home when that is unnecessary. I just need to make my point with as much respect as I can, but putting down my foot as firmly as I can. So that's a matter of the reason I got here, though, is because I didn't trust my gut feeling to begin with. And I am learning to trust myself. So I want you to learn to trust yourself. Because the reason I don't I didn't trust myself is because I've made too many promises and haven't kept them to myself and to others. And that's just not an option anymore, which is great because I don't really like that about myself. I didn't really like that about myself. And it was so different when I was younger. I was so good at keeping my word. Like my word was my bond, and that was it. And that's what I want to be again. And that's what I am now, right now. And I might mess up every once in a while, but keep building the muscle and I'll get back to that, to where it's just like, I'm very careful about what I say because once I say it, I have to do it. Anyway. Oh, Joe, yeah, good. I am so glad that I could help in any way. That's the whole point of these videos, is to discuss, you know, the depression and the anxiety and feelings like I can't get out of this, it's hopeless, or it's too late, or like this person can get out but I can't. All those thoughts and all those feelings are so dark, and it's such a horrible place to be. So, you know, I recognize that. I recognize that, and I know how hard that is, and it's brutal. It's brutal. The thing about it is, I'm just going to start to cry just thinking about it. The thing about it, though, Joe, is that when you start to come out of it, you recognize it for what it is. So I'm going to encourage you to really work on coming out of it, because you can. It's actually possible. I did not think it was. I had this sort of someday it'll get better thing in my head, which isn't going to happen unless I do something right now, right? So I'm just going to encourage you to start examining things, journal, read The Untethered Soul, and, you know, well, even just listen to it on Audible, and Living from a Place to Surrender. That's another one. And even The Surrender Experiment, which is an autobiography of Michael Singer. These are the books that helped me, that really spurred me in my growth, my stuff. But what really got me was being sick of where I was, and just I'd had enough. Like I mean, I'd said that a million times, right? I had enough of this, but I was done with feeling this way, and I was able to start switching my thoughts. But the biggest thing was journaling and exploring those feelings that I didn't want to explore. It takes bravery. It takes bravery, and it takes knowledge that, however uncomfortable it might get, when you're exploring these things, it's much more uncomfortable to stay where you are. And on the other side of the fear, when you break through it, and when you recognize patterns, and you realize what you've been doing to yourself, and you can kind of have compassion for yourself, it gets so much better. It gets so much better. Thank you, Joe, and I'm with you too. So that's what I want to say to you, all of you out there. Learn to trust yourselves. Take little steps, little steps. That's been the thing for me, at least. Going from not trusting myself to trusting myself. Everything, all of this work is incremental, and you'll notice a difference, but then you'll notice a difference, and then all of a sudden you take a big leap, and you're like, wow, what I thought was a big deal is so small compared to what I am. So it's worth it, and don't be discouraged if it's just a little bit at a time, because that's what it takes. It can't go from horrible to great, and that's what I used to think, that it was just one leap, there was going to be a breakthrough, and I can't do it, right? But you can do small little steps. So when it comes to trusting yourself, make a small commitment and fulfill it, and just do that maybe once a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know what? Judging ourselves for it, Joe, it's so stupid sometimes how we feel. It's not stupid. Don't that's judging yourself, and that's just causing more problems. That's putting stress on top of pain. One of the things I realized when I was coming out of this, when I started coming out of this, because I still am, was that when I was judging myself for feeling a certain way, or I was trying to get away from a feeling that I was feeling, or I felt like I shouldn't be feeling this feeling, or whatever, that is just another layer of stress on top of that feeling. And when you can relax and say to yourself, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm just going to feel it, and it's okay that I'm feeling this. In fact, it's exactly what I'm supposed to be feeling. Take a deep breath and just relax. And that stress of saying, oh, I'm stupid for feeling this way, or I shouldn't be feeling this way, or I need to get away from it, that goes. And it's so much easier to deal with. It's uncomfortable. You have to face it. But it's so much easier to deal with. It's just so, like, you stop sweating. Honestly, I stopped sweating as much. I really stopped sweating, literally stopped sweating as much when I stopped stressing out about how I should and shouldn't feel, or trying to get away from what I'm feeling, or trying to fix the situation outside of me. Yeah, no, you know what? Meditation, Joe, is what I use too, although I don't do it as often as I should. What's good about meditation is, again, it doesn't always work though. Meditation is a practice. It's not something that works or doesn't work. It's a practice. What you're doing when you're meditating is remembering that you exist in this moment and clearing your mind of thoughts. And that's practice. Like, literally practice, so that in other areas of your life, when you're going through your life, you have that muscle, you're developing that muscle to be present and mindful. And believe it or not, when I have been able to exist that way, which I would be able to much better if I would meditate more, there is a refuge in the present moment. Not just like beauty and meaning and reverence and joy and love, but there's a refuge, because everything that's going on around you, for the most part, the moment you're in isn't terrible. I mean, sometimes, sure, but like, unless you're being tortured physically, what's going on right now is there's not really anything bad happening in this moment. In this exact moment, I have an egg salad sandwich in front of me, and I'm going to eat it after this. It's a lovely day outside. I'm going to have to go take a shower, and then I'm going to probably go outside for a walk, because that's probably a good idea for me. But you know what? That's even in the future, right? Right now, this moment, I'm with you, you're with me, we're having a great time, you know? And if I can exist right now, I look at my hands and I see them in this moment. I see myself in my camera in this moment, and nothing bad is happening, no matter how stressed out I might be with everything else going on in my life, which there is a lot, and I do get very stressed out about it. If I can just... I was talking to my friend Robin about this last night too, like, and a lot of the ladies in my chakra class. When you allow yourself to relax and say, I'm just going to feel what my heart is feeling, and allow it to be what it is, you know, you get these feelings. It's like a physical feeling in your astral body, if that makes any sense. And if you just allow it to be, it's uncomfortable. You don't necessarily want to feel what you're feeling, but if you allow yourself to feel it, it comes and it goes. If you don't allow yourself to feel it, it will stay forever. You store it. It becomes a scar inside of you. And then you have to get rid of it. Like, so as much as you can, let it go today. And that was my thing too, is like, letting go. What the hell does that mean? People are like, oh, just let it go. And I'm like, well, I would if I knew what the hell you were talking about. How does one just let it go? And people are like, I don't know, you just let it go. And you're like, that doesn't help. If I could let it go, I would have let it go by now. But I can't, so you have to help me and tell me how to do it. And everybody's just been like, oh, you just let it go. And like, I don't know what you're talking about. Michael Singer came along and gave me a technique, and that was when I realized things can be better. Like, if someone can tell me how to let go of something, then I can learn to let go. You know, like, it's not some esoteric idea that, you know, I can't possibly attain because there are no steps. Letting go is allowing yourself to feel that emotion. The emotion comes, and instead of tensing up and trying to do something about it, whether it's run away from it or do something to fix the outside, it's just allowing it to come and focusing on your body taking a deep breath and just relaxing everything you can, your legs, your butt, your gut, your heart space as much as you can, your back, your neck, everything that you can release, you release, and you just let it happen. And it's uncomfortable. Like right now, there's an anxiety. It's happening right here, kind of solar plexusy. Someone by your side to help. True. That support is invaluable, and you can't do it by yourself. But at the same time, you're the one who has to take the steps, because no one else can do it but you. So, yes, releasing it does help, and that's what letting go is. And you don't let it go all at once. It's not people have been like, oh, you just let it go. Like, that's not how it works. Like, it's not, So every time that you feel tense, you let go, and then you just, you release, and you relax and release. You relax and release, and every time it comes up, that's what you do. Relax and release, and you keep doing it until that feeling's gone, and it will go if you don't hold on to it. All right, so I'm going to wrap up for the day. I hope this has been useful, and I'm going to remind you, trust yourself, trust your gut. And in order to trust yourself, you can take little steps every day. Make a little commitment and do it. For instance, today, I am going to do my taxes. And that is going to help. Joe, thank you. I appreciate you being here. It's the reason I do these, so it makes me feel really good to have you here and to have you participate. So thank you. And on that note, I'm just going to remind everybody that there's always something you can find in every moment of life to be grateful for. So I'm going to remind you to remember that you can always choose to have a grateful day.